Hi everyone, today we are going to discuss about Jenkins and its installation process in Windows environment. So here my agenda is I am going to cover what is Jenkins and why we need it. Before Jenkins, what was the problem? Then at end we will install the Jenkins in our local machine. Then we will up our Jenkins server. Okay. Now let's understand what is Jenkins first. Jenkins is an continuous integration tool used to build code and deploy it to the production. Okay, so what exactly this continuous integration tool? Continuous integration tool means on behalf of developer, it will do the all the pre-process step like compile, test before my code move to the production environment or dev environment or Q environment. Okay. Jenkins provides hundreds of plugins to support building, deploying, and automating any project. So, what are the plugins provided by Jenkins that we will observe at the time of installation? It is a server-based system that runs in servlet containers such as Apache Tomcat, and it supports version control tool like SVN, Git to automate the build. As I told, Jenkins provides multiple plugins like SVN and Git. So in our next example, we are going to use this Git plugin with Jenkins to automate our build. So now let's understand more about this continuous integration. So continuous integration is a process in which all the development work is integrated as early as possible. So all the development work in the sense, once I develop my code, I will move to the repository. Then from repository, I need to do the build. Those build process can be done with the help of Ant or Maven or Gradle. So at the time of build, it will do the compile my code. It will do the test. Okay, so those pre-step I want to be complete as early as possible with the help of continuous integration. The resulting artifacts are automatically created and tested. This process allows to identify error as early as possible. If there is any error on my build, I will be notified. So identify error as early as possible. The developer should know the status of his build. Okay. So now let's understand what was the problem before continuous integration. This is the workflow before continuous integration. Couple of developer commit their changes to the source code. The source code repository can be Git or SVN. Then it will pull to the next level for the build, and the build can be done by the Maven, Ant or Gradle. Then once the build is success, then it will go to the test environment for testing. If there is any failure on testing, if there is any code smell or there is any bug, that will be notified to the developer. If there is no bug, then that will move forward to the release. It can be the QA or it can be dev or it can be directly to the production environment. Okay. So you guys might think this process looks good, then what was the problem in this process? Okay. So once again I am explaining, couple of developer commit the changes to the source code repository, then it got pulled and it do the build, then it went for the test. Once the test is done, if there is no bug, then the code will move to the next release. If there is any bug, it will be notified to the developer. Okay, so let's understand the problem in this workflow before continuous integration. Problem before continuous integration. I hope the code works fine in testing. This guy did the commit and he did the build, then code moved to the test environment. And at that time, this guy not sure whether his code will work fine or not. And he will be wait for long time to get the test result. So it looks it's more time consuming. Come to this next guy. I have to check the entire source code. If there is any failure in test result, this guy need to dig their code and he need to identify the root cause of it. because he is the not only guy who did the last commit. As couple of developer parallelly working on the same file, so it's difficult to identify due to whose commit the test result is getting failed. Okay, and this will be more headache for developer to identifying and fixing the bug. Okay, so now let's understand how these things will be optimized with the help of continuous integration. So this is the continuous integration architecture. Let me explain it. So a couple of developers did the changes and they committed to source code repository. So this source code repository can be Git or SVN. Okay. So then it got pulled to this continuous integration server where it will do the all the pre-step to deploy our code. It will do the build and it will test, it will compile, and at the end it will deploy. So at the time of test or build, if there is any failure in our code, it immediately notify to the developer team with the last commit message with full error stack trace. If there is no failure, it directly went for the release, and if the release is failure or release is success, again it will notify to the developer. So here you can see developer no need to wait for the test result. At the time of build itself, if there is any failure, he will get the notification with all the failure details. Okay. Let's understand this continuous integration workflow once again. So here you can observe developer commit the changes to the repository, then it trigger for the build, then this is the continuous integration where it will compile, build and do the unit test. If it is passed, then it went for the next environment. Next environment can be QA or dev or can be production or can be stage. It depends on the industry what they are following. If there is any failure, then it will notify to the developer, right? So let's compare what was the problem before continuous integration and how we overcome with the help of continuous integration. The entire source code was built and then tested. In before continuous integration, the entire source code was built and then it will go for the test. In case of after continuous integration, every commit made in the source code is built and tested. If there is any failure in that build, it will notify to the developer. Developers have to wait for test result. In case of after continuous integration, developers know the test result of every commit made in the source code on the run. In case of before continuous integration, there is no feedback loop. In case of after continuous integration, feedback loop is present. Okay. So this is just we covered overview of Jenkins and what are the advantages we got with the help of this Jenkins continuous integration. Okay. So guys, I believe you like this video. If you like this, then please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get all the latest notification so that you won't miss any update from Java Techie. Okay. So let's move forward to the installation process. Let's go to the browser and there we'll download the Jenkins server. Okay. So this is the Jenkins official site where you can download the latest server. So click here the download button. Then there will be two release, long-term support and weekly. We are going to use the long-term support here. Then choose your operating system. If you choose here Windows, it will download the Windows installer for Jenkins. So I am just going to download the WAR file so that I can open the Jenkins server. Click this one, it will download. The size is 72 MB. Okay, so let it download first. You can observe it downloaded. Now let's go to the download folder. Here it got downloaded. Okay, so where exactly you download, just type the command from that directory and run this jenkins.war java-jar jenkins.war. Okay, so let's run it. It will take few seconds as I am doing the first time. It will listed all the plugins which is required to work with this continuous integration server. It giving the password, initial admin password. That password you can get it from C user, the directory, initial admin password.txt. Okay, you can observe here it's up and running, right? Jenkins is fully up and running, and this is the initial password. Let's copy this. Now let's go to the browser, type here. By default it will run on port 8080. If you want, you can change the port. Okay, this is the Jenkins home. So here you need to provide this password, the initial password. Click continue. Now customize the Jenkins. Install suggested plugin. As I told, it provides support for few plugins like SBN, Git. Okay, so let's install few of the predefined plugins provided by Jenkins itself. It provided for Git, PAM authentication, LDAP, SBN. Okay, so let's complete this. It will take couple of minutes, so let's wait. To work with this, to install this, we need the internet connection. Without internet connectivity, we can't install this Jenkins and we can add these plugins. Okay, so make sure when you are installing Jenkins, you have the internet connection. Still it's going on, so we need to wait few more minutes. These are the plugins it added. The current one is email extension. Okay, so with that email extension we can notify to the developer. So yep, that installation is completed. So here first create the admin user. Let me give my name something Java Techie. Let it be capital. Okay, now give your password. Again confirm your password. Now give your name. Here I am giving Java Techie. Now provide the email address. Okay, now save and continue. It's showing the default port is 8080. If you want, you can change here. Okay, click save and finish. Start using Jenkins. This is the Jenkins dashboard. Here you can create a new job and you can go for the build. So as of now we don't have any project to create a new job with this Jenkins. This is just I covered here the overview on Jenkins and how we can install and how we can up our continuous integration server, Jenkins server. Okay, so in next tutorial we are going to integrate our GitHub code with this Jenkins, so that we are going to check there how the build will be automated with this continuous integration server with one example. Okay, so let's get started. Let's create a project in first Eclipse, file, new, Spring Starter project. Here I am creating one dummy Spring Boot project where I just want to add some print statement. Okay, change the name here, Spring Jenkins. You can create a plain Java project and you can test it. Okay, it's not required to create any Spring project. Spring with Jenkins integration. Change the package something like jenkins.api. Okay, click next. Let me add only the web dependency. Click finish. Let's import this project first. Application imported successfully. Now let's go to the class. Let me add some log statement here. Create the logger object, logger factory dot get logger of Spring Jenkins application dot class. Okay, here I am going to write one init method who will run before my application start. Public void init. Let me print some statement here. Application started. Let me add this @post construct. Let's add one more logger statement in this main method. Application executed. Okay, let's add some random dummy message. We just want to check this in console. Okay, so declare it public static. Okay, so now let's go to our test package. We are just going to check whether this test process will be automated or not with the help of this Jenkins. Okay, so let me add some dummy test. Assert equals true. I just want to check whether this test case is executing or not. Okay, so let's add the logger statement here as well. Change the class name. Now logger dot info. Add some message test case executing. Okay, so now let's create a repository in our GitHub. Then we'll sync our project to that repository. Copy this name. Let's go to the repository, create a new project, add the name here, add some description for Jenkins testing purpose. Okay, now click create repository. Okay, we created a repository. Now let's sync our application with this repository. Guys, don't blindly follow this approach. Already I have a best tutorial on GitHub. So I created a playlist with name GitHub with all the basic command. If you want, you can check that tutorial. Okay, so we created repository and we have the project. We just need to sync, right? Now let's go to the project directory, open the git bash here. Okay, first initialize this repository, type git init, then check the status, git status. It is showing we have lot of file which is not committed. Okay, so let's add them, indexing them first. Git add, I want to add all. Okay, then commit them with a message. I'm writing something first commit. Okay, now just add the upstream, then we will push. So to add the upstream, just copy this command, git remote add origin, then our repository. Let me clear this console. paste it. Okay, now let's just push our changes to our repository. Okay, it will take few seconds. Yeah, it's done. Now let's go to our repository. Let's refresh it. We're able to see our first commit message, right? Now our application will sync with this repository Spring Jenkins. Okay, so now let's go to the Jenkins dashboard. Okay, so to come to this Jenkins dashboard, we need to run the jenkins.war, which I almost covered on my previous tutorial. So just follow that. Okay, so we are in Jenkins dashboard. Let's create a new job. Mention the job name. I'm giving your Spring Jenkins. Okay, click on freestyle project. Even you have the option to click on the Maven project. So let me create freestyle project. Then click OK. So here if you want you can add a description. So click here as we are going to sync our GitHub project with Jenkins. So click here the GitHub project, then provide the project URL. This is my project URL. So let me paste here. Okay, let's see the what are there in advance. Display name. Okay, mention the display name something like Spring Jenkins. Okay, now click on source code management. Here we are using Git, so click on Git, provide the repository URL. So my repository URL is this one. Click on clone or download. You will find this repository URL. Copy it, then paste here. Okay, now you can add your credential here. Let me check. Yeah, I didn't add it. Let me add it here. Click on add Jenkins. So here I will give my credential. Jenkins credential here you need to provide. Okay, now click add. Now you can select your credential. Okay, so repository browser, let it be additional behavior. Let me check what is that. Okay, just ignore those steps. Then we can schedule our task, means we can schedule our build. Suppose I want in every change in my source code in this Spring Jenkins repository, I want to be a new build. So you can schedule your task. So let me add here. Let me add 5-star. 5-star in the sense, let me show you what is it. So every minute, every hour, whatever the changes will be done to your repository, it will automatically pick and it will do the build with the help of continuous integration server. So actually this is not the standard to use this 5-star. For demo purpose I am adding here. Normally industry are following, like they have their scheduled job, like every day at night or every early morning they are running this batch. Okay, so you can specify the cron expression here. As of now, for testing purpose, I want to run my build on every changes in my repository GitHub. Okay, now build environment, we not required anything here. Let me check anything we missed. Okay, now come to this add build step. I want to add something will be related to Maven. Nothing is there. Invoke top level Maven target. Okay, here you can set the goal of Maven. Let me save clean install. I guess clean not required. Once we will do the install, it will cover the clean life cycle as well. Okay, so let it be install. Okay, this is the build step. If you want some post build action, let's check what are the post build action. aggregate downstream test result, archive this artifact. This is the email notification. Okay, so click on email notification. To whom you want to send the email? Let me add my personal mail ID. .4 at the rate. In every build status, whether it is failed or pass, I want to trigger the mail to this particular guy. In organization, in industry, they are adding the bunch of email ID, means they are creating a group, and that group they are adding, so that in every build the mail will trigger to the entire teammate. Okay, now click on apply. Now go to our Jenkins. Now click on our project. Okay, so click build now. The first build is started here. You can check the console output. As you added the email notification things, it won't trigger any mail now. So for that we need to do the setup again in our Jenkins directory. So that we will do. First let's check how the build is doing here. You can observe it executing my test. Our log statement printed here, application started and test case executing. Okay, and even build is success. Okay, means all the pre-step what we just cover in case of continuous integration, like the test and build, compile, all those things will be done by this continuous integration server. Okay, so that's what we are able to see our log statement in our console in the Jenkins project. Okay, so let's go to the project once again. This is the blue mark, means our green build is success, right? Now let's check how the build will be automated here. Okay, so let me change something in my code. Let me add one more log statement here. Test case executing, second log statement. Okay, now let's commit these changes to our repository. Git add star, then add a commit message. Second commit. Now let's push these changes to our repository. Okay, it got pushed. So let me zoom it. Let's come to our Jenkins dashboard. In few seconds you will check here, the one more build will be start automatically. Okay, so let's check in our repository whether the commit statement is reflected or not. Second commit is there, right? So come here, it will start in few seconds. We need to wait. You can observe here pending in the, it's on pending state, so it will start. Yep, it started. So go to the console output. Even the commit version also it is showing here, so it will be easy for a developer to easily identify that due to whose commit the build is going to fail, right? Just check here, application started. Build is success. Now let's check here our statement, application started, test case executing, then the second statement is also added here, right? Now let's intentionally do some mistake where intentionally we want to fail our build. Okay, so let me go to the code. So let's remove this. Okay, so here intentionally we just want to check how this build will be automated, so that's why I forcefully trying to fail my build. Okay, so this will be leads the compilation error. Okay, so let's add these changes to repository. So let me clear first git add, then just commit with a message forcefully build fail. Okay, this is my commit message. We can able to see this commit message in our Jenkins build. Okay, now push this changes to our repository. Yeah, it got pushed. So go to our repository first. Let me refresh it. Forcefully build fail. Okay, so now let's go to this our project. It should start a new build automatically. Come to this Spring Jenkins project. Yep, it got started the third build. Okay, so in my every commit to the repository, it automatically started the build. So this is what the advantages to use this continuous integration Jenkins. That's why this is the leading software industry is blindly using it. Okay, yep, this is the red one, right? It means build got failed. Let's check the output. This is the commit version and the commit message is forcefully build fail. Okay, and it is showing the compilation error with the class and package. Okay, so this is the message to not trigger the email. So due to we didn't configure the email host port and all those things, so that we are configure now itself, then we will get the mail. If there is fail or success, we will get the mail. Okay, but this build is failed due to this compilation error. This is the secondary logic, it won't impact on my build. Okay, so now let's add the email related configuration to notify on my each build. Come to the dashboard, then click on manage Jenkins, click on configure system. Okay, here just go down, there is email notification, right? So here we need to add the our SMTP server prefix, and there is few advanced configuration is there, that also we need to add, right? So let's add this SMTP server, smtp.gmail.com. Okay, now let's add this email suffix. Our email suffix should be, as we are using Gmail, @gmail.com. Okay, so here use the SMTP authentication, from which mail ID you want to trigger the notification on each build. Just specify that mail ID. I am giving Java Techie for you @gmail.com. Okay, now here let's add the password. I am adding my password. Okay, 465. Then add the mail ID to whom you want to trigger the mail. Let me add my mail ID. Okay, so let me copy this once again. So we added the server and the prefix and the mail ID from which you want to trigger, and to whom you want to trigger, that also you need to mention here, and the port. Okay, SMTP port. Now let's check this test configuration to my mail ID. Let's check this whether the mail is triggering or not. So you can see here email was successfully sent. Okay, let me go to my email id. This is the test mail which I got from the Jenkins. As I configure this as a sender, and my mail id is received this mail from the Jenkins. Okay, this is just test mail for the test configuration. Okay, now click on apply. Okay, it got saved. Click again on save. Yep, so we enable our email notification. Okay, now let's go to our code, change this as it is. There will be no compilation error. Our build should be success here. Okay, so let me add these changes to my repository. In every change to my repository will be build automatically and will be deploy and will be test, and those result will be triggered to my mail id. Git add star, I want to add all, then add a commit message, something like no error now, I guess. Now push it. Yep, it got pushed. Now let's go to our browser, check the commit statement first. No error now, I guess. Okay, now go to the dashboard, go to our project. It should start the build in few seconds. Let's wait for that. Okay, let's refresh it once again. Yep, it will start. It started. Okay, it's pending, so wait for few seconds. Yeah, it got started. Check the console output. This is my commit message and this is my commit version, the up one. Okay, internally it is doing the test, compile and build. All those things will be done by this Jenkins integration, continuous integration server, sending email to this mail id. Okay, and build is success. Now let's move to my mail id. Yep, I got this mail. Jenkins build is back to normal, so it is normal now. There is no build error, so I didn't get any build error message here. It's just giving me the link. Just click here. You can check the, here you need to log in first. Okay, let me log in. Java Techie. You can see the all the build here. Okay, so our last build got success, right? Now let's go to our code. Let's fail again so that we can check the mail is coming from the Jenkins continuous integration server with build fail message, so that it will be easy for a developer to identify and fixing that error. Let me remove this logger statement itself. Okay, now go to the git. Let's clear me this console. Now let's add these changes to our repository. Git add, then commit with a message, build should fail and trigger email. Okay, now push the changes. Pushed successfully with the failure. Let me go to the browser, go to our repository. Let's check whether the commit is reflected or not. Yep, build should fail and trigger email. Now go to our Jenkins, go to our, yep, build got started automatically. Check the console output. Compilation error, variable logger. As we remove the logger, it is unable to find this logger statement. Okay, and build is failed and email triggered to my mail id. Now let's go to my mail ID. I got this mail from the Jenkins. Build failed in Jenkins, and the build version is our 5 with all full stack error stack, right? This is my commit message. This is the commit version. All the error with the root cause and everything is mailed me by the Jenkins Continuous Integration. With the help of this error notification and this error stack trace, a developer can easily identify the root cause, right? So he can check, okay, this is the last commit done by a guy and this is the commit version. He can easily go to that revision and he can fix the issue. This is how this Jenkins helps us in developer in real-time industry, right? So not only this Jenkins notification and Jenkins auto build, there is few more features. We can create the pipeline in Jenkins. We can create the multiple environment, QA, dev, production, and we can move our code from one environment to another environment with the help of Jenkins pipelines. Okay, so that I am going to cover in my next tutorial. Okay, so yep, that's it about this tutorial. Here we just cover how we can integrate our GitHub to continuous integration tool with Jenkins and how we can automate the build. Here we cover, we can check here, these are the automated build done by this Jenkins, and we notified with the success and failure in each commit, each build status. Okay, today we are going to discuss about Jenkins pipeline. So how to create Jenkins pipeline and how we can run multiple jobs in a single pipeline. Pipeline is a workflow with the group of events or jobs that are chained and integrated with each other in a sequence. As I told, in a single pipeline we can create multiple jobs and we can integrate them and we can run them as a single shot. Okay. Pipeline is process of continuous delivery automation using Jenkins job. Jenkins job in the sense we can say like it can be a Jenkins event or build. Each job contains some processing inlet and outlets. Build, deploy, test, release. We can say build is one job, deploy is one job, okay, and they chained in a single pipeline. So let me show you the pipeline architecture, guys. This is the pipeline architecture. Once code committed to the Git, then it went for the continuous integration and then it went to the development environment. From development environment it went to the pipeline, where in pipeline commit, build, test, stage having the multiple job. So one segment of the single pipeline contains a job. Here it is doing the commit, here it is doing the build, here it is doing the test. Okay, this is the continuous integration delivery. So here the advantages of use this pipeline. Suppose assume in this build segment my job getting failed, so then it won't move to the next build, next event or next job, right? That is the test. Assume suppose in test my job getting failed, then it won't move to the next build or next job, right? So this is the way we can make our code ready to the production. Okay, so there is multiple way we can create a pipeline in Jenkins: build plugin pipeline, declarative pipeline, and scripted pipeline. So in this current session we are going to do this build plugin pipeline. Okay, and this declarative pipeline and scripted pipeline will be more preferable to use if you have huge job, not 2 3. If you have multiple job, then we should go for this declarative or scripted pipeline. So let me show you when to use which pipeline. If your application have less job to execute, then always you need to prefer build plugin pipeline. Less job in the sense we can say, suppose I want to do the development, then the UAT test, then the deployment, then I can choose this build plugin pipeline. If my application have multiple job like development, code review, then UAT test, as part of UAT test I want unit test, coverage test or load test, then integration test, after that I want the packaging goal or build. Okay, then in this multi-job situation we always prefer to use declarative or else scripted pipeline. In case of declarative pipeline approach, we need to write Jenkins files as part of our code and we can commit it to the Git and we can reuse it. In case of scripted pipeline, in Jenkins configure section we need to add those script, and those script is written in Groovy syntax. As I told, assume I have three jobs: development, QA means UAT, and production. So in this case, I should prefer to use this build plugin pipeline, so that if development is going to fail, development job is going to fail, then my build will not trigger for the next job. Okay. In this diagram, like my development is getting failed, so all the next two stages QA and production is displaying blue, means the job is terminated here itself, it won't move to the next environment, next stage. Okay, so same example we are going to do here. I am going to create development, UAT and production, three different job, and I will create a pipeline, and these three job will integrate to that pipeline. Okay, so let's get started. So let's run our Jenkins server. To run our Jenkins server, we need to run the jenkins.war. Okay, run my jenkins.war. So that's why my Jenkins server is up. So create a new job here, give me some name like development, then click on freestyle project, click OK, add some description here, something like development environment, then click on GitHub project. Same example I want to use which we did in our previous session. Okay, so add the project URL here. Source code management, we are going to use Git. Click on Git, provide the URL here, then add your credential of your Git. Okay, then come to the build trigger. Here we want to schedule my build. On every change to my Git, I want to run a new build. So add 5 star. Okay, now add the build step. Invoke top level Maven target. Add here something like install. Okay, let me cross verify once, anything I missed. Okay, just click on apply, then save it. Similarly, let's create a one more new job, UAT freestyle project. Click OK, add some description, testing environment. Here test team will use their own test data for testing purpose. Then click on GitHub project, add the URL, then click on Git, give the URL here, then add your credential. Okay, then go to add build step, add the Maven goal here, give something like test. Okay, now click on apply and save it. Similarly, create one more for production. Freestyle project, click OK, add the description, prod environment, Okay, click on GitHub project, give the same URL, click on source code management git, provide your git URL, add your credential, go to the build, add build step, invoke top level Maven goal. Here also I am giving install. Now click on apply, then save it. Now come to your Jenkins dashboard. We can able to see three job: dev, UAT and production. Okay, so now let's create a pipeline with the help of build pipeline plugin. Click here. Here is the option build pipeline view. Okay, so it won't be available when you are doing first time. So just go to the Jenkins, click the manage Jenkins. We need to add the plugin manually here. Manage plugin, go to the available, type here build pipeline. PI. Okay, it already installed, so it will be available here. Build pipe, yeah, build pipeline plugin is available, already I installed. So if first time you are doing, go to available, type build pipeline, then install it. Install without restart option is there, just click that. Okay, so as I already installed it, let me use that. So here is the plus mark, click here, then click on build pipeline view, give your view name. I am giving Java Techie project. Click OK. Add description here, some description like Java Techie build pipeline. Okay, now come down, select your initial job. So once you will commit on which environment or on which job you want to execute first. So I want to execute first my dev job. Okay, here you can choose dev, prod, UAT, as we have the three job. So I am choosing here the dev one. Okay, here just set the number of display build. I want to set 5. Then what you want to display as part of your row headers. All build version and parameter. But as of now, let me choose only just the pipeline number. Just go through this configuration and play around it. You will get some more idea. Okay. Now click on apply. Okay. This is my build pipeline created. Okay. Only here it is showing the dev. So let me go to the Jenkins. I want, after dev build will be completed, I want to run my UAT one. So go to UAT, then click on configure. Okay, then go to this build trigger section. Build after other project are build. Okay, once this dev will be built, I want to run this UAT job. So click here the UAT. Okay, then apply, save. Go to again Jenkins. Once this UAT will be done, I want to run my production job. So go to production configure, build trigger, then build after other project are built. Once the UAT will be built, I want to run this production. Okay, click apply, then save. Click on Jenkins, then go to your pipeline, refresh this. We didn't give, means we don't have any build as of now. So let's run a build, then we'll check how this pipeline workflow is going on. Okay, so let's cross verify once our configuration. Dev is our initial build, then let's check in UAT, go to the configure, go to the build trigger, I want once the dev will be done, then this UAT should be run. So I did the mistake here. Click the dev, so that after dev complete, this UAT will be picked automatically. Click on apply, then save. Okay, go to the Jenkins, go to the production, configure, click on build trigger. Once the dev done UAT, then after UAT I want to run the prod, so it is fine. Here we can specify the UAT. Click apply, save. Okay, now click on your Jenkins, go to the Java, means your build pipeline. Here you can see dev, then UAT, then prod. Okay, so dev build is automated here, so it won't move to the UAT. So let's do some change in our code, then we'll give a build to dev, then we'll see how the pipeline flow will work, like how the code, means the after dev job execute, how it will move to the UAT job, then prod job. Okay, so let's go to our code. Let me remove one statement here. Click save. Okay, now go to the git bash, then we will do this commit. Go to git bash, check the status. Just now we changed this file, right? So add it, then commit it with a message, remove logger statement. Okay, then push it. Okay, we pushed our changes to the repository. Let's refresh it here. Our commit statement is reflected here. Now let's go to our pipeline, Java Techie project. Let's go to Jenkins. This dev build started now. Okay, click on pipeline. So you can see one more entry will be generated here with pipeline number 2. Yep, it got started. Pipeline 2, dev is going on. Once this dev will done, then it will move to the next job, that is our UAT, then next prod. Okay, so let's wait for some time. Dev is completed. Now it will move to the UAT in few seconds. You can see here UAT is also done. Now the prod will be start. Let me refresh it. Yep, it started almost. So this is the advantages of use the pipeline here. This, like, multiple job will be run in single shot with automated way. We no need to trigger manually, move your code to dev, then UAT, then prod, right? This is the pipeline 2. So let me do one thing. Let me do some mistake. Means I want to forcefully fail my build in our dev, so that I want to show you here the next job will not move to the test or prod. Okay, let me do this commit, git add, then commit with message, fail commit, then push it. It pushed. Now go to our repository. Here only 2 entries there, right? So one will be start and in dev it will be red. Okay, so let me show you that. First check the git fail commit. Our last commit was reflected. Go to the Jenkins, go to the here it will start in few seconds. You can see pipeline 3, it started and it failed here. Okay, so that's why it is in red color. And as the first job is got failed, so the next job is not trigger our UAT or production. Okay, so this is one more advantages to use this pipeline. So if one job is getting failed, so you don't want to move forward and you don't want to do the next job. That's what you can achieve with the help of pipeline. Okay, so let me go to Jenkins. Yep, here it is ready. Let me go to the console output. It is due to the compilation error. Okay, that's all about this particular video, guys. Thanks for watching this video. Meet you soon with a new concept.